Hey everybody, welcome back to the Miniac, and in tonight's video we are doing another live stream. This is a weekend update as usual. So, what do I have going on here tonight? Well, lots of new stuff. I got a nice notepad here with lots of information going on here. But first, I want to thank my sponsor, outmotoring.com, and if you are interested in purchasing items or products from them, I'm going to send the link in the chat over here. So go check them out. They have mini accessories, mini parts, you name it. They have all sorts of cool stuff. They have lots of new stuff. And I think they even have a discount if you sign up on their mailing list. So you get like a 5% discount. So check it out. I think they have free shipping over a certain amount of money. I think it's $190. So lots of good stuff over there. Also, if you haven't already done so and you're interested in buying a t-shirt related to the channel, the Miniac, go check out my Teespring store. And that's in the chat as well. I have lots of new shirts there and sweatshirts, you name it. And if you're interested in something that I don't have, I can always get it made. But anywho, what do I got going on tonight? Well, as far as we know, minis are going to be coming back in the US with manual transmissions. You can start ordering them. Customers and dealerships should be able to start ordering them in February, according to what I've read and what I've checked. I've checked multiple sources, and it looks like that's going to be happening. And before I get to more stuff, I just want to say hello to Des Miller. Hi from the UK. So hi from Kansas. What else do I got here? Well, according to Motoring File, Mini USA sales or mini sales are down in the US, and I think it's also globally. Now, in the US, I don't know why it's happening, but here's my take on it. I think people are kind of missing the fact that SUVs are a trend. They come and go. It happened back in 2008. Gas prices are going to shoot through the roof again, and what's going to happen is SUVs are not going to become popular and are not going to be popular for much longer. Doesn't matter how fuel efficient you can make those cars. So what's going to happen is minis and small cars are going to become popular, and Mini is still building small cars. So all these other companies that were making small cars and have canceled them, they're going to be in hot water because they're going to suddenly find people or customers that are looking for small cars and not getting them anymore. So also, according to what I've read recently, 90,000 pre-orders or people who are interested in the electric Mini, the Mini Cooper SE. Not exactly sure how many of those people are actually going to buy the car. I know that with the short range per charge, I don't know if it's necessarily going to be a good car for city driving. And hold on a second, I have an unstable internet connection, which I shouldn't have because I have, nope, it's back. All right. Anyway, back to the electric Mini. About 90,000 pre-orders. Not sure exactly what that's going to mean as far as sales are concerned, but apparently it should help a little bit, or it should be popular. I don't know. I think the car honestly is a little under mileage or under range. But what else we got going on here? Well, according to Motoring File by way of Autocar magazine, the 4th generation Mini, now this is going to be interesting stuff. The 4th generation Mini, the car that will replace the F56, I believe it'll probably be called a G56, given the way Mini and BMW do their naming. The car is going to get smaller. It's going to go back to about the size of the R50, R56, and apparently, from what I read here, this is because of new energy-absorbent crash foam that they put into the cars. The reason the cars look the way they do right now, especially that front overhang, is because of crash safety, particularly with pedestrians or other vehicles. They have to have enough of a buffer zone between what it hits and the vehicle to absorb that impact. So with new crash with new crash foam technology, they can make that smaller, which means that 6-inch extra of overhang on the Mini currently is going to shrink down substantially. So we could see the 4th generation Mini getting smaller back to what it looked like with maybe the 1st and 2nd gens. What I do know is the styling is going to stay somewhat iconic, but from what I heard, I froze, John. Okay, that was probably because of my internet connection, so I'm hoping you guys can bear with me. If it comes back, great. Anyway, 4th gen. So what I heard, they're going to try to keep the face of the car the same as it's always been, the style iconic with the round headlights and so forth. But I did hear that the taillights, the back end of the car is not going to be it may not be as iconic as the rest of the Mini. So you may not recognize the rear end as a typical Mini anymore. And they may do something completely different than what they've been doing. So the front will still be iconic, but the back end might change completely. I also heard they're working on making the 4th or the four-door 4th gen look far better than it currently does. I know a lot of you people out there who do not like the 4-door hardtop, but here's my take on the 4-door hardtop. In the right configuration, it looks pretty darn good, particularly if you have a John Cooper Works appearance package and you have a John Cooper Works rear spoiler. That gets the body lines looking somewhat better. What else do we got going on here? Another feature of the 4-door Mini is that, not 4-door. Another feature of the 4th gen Mini, according to what I've read here, is that they may do away with the clamshell bonnet. Now, that was a characteristic of the 1st, 2nd, and 3rd gens, but not the classics. So that may go away. They also may do away with some of the retro features in the larger Minis. So while the small ones may still have the toggle switches and everything, the kind of aircraft switches, the larger ones, the Countryman and the Clubman, for example, may do away with those entirely. So not sure how that's going to go. Not sure if I'm looking forward to seeing that. But those are the things that are going to be happening with the Mini brand as far as future redesign is concerned, as far as what's going to be happening. There's lots more stuff going on. There's lots of new things going on, but that's basically what we know so far. What else do I got going on here? Now, some of you are aware about the Sidewalk Edition Mini 2020 Mini Cooper S convertible. That's going to be available in Deep Laguna Metallic. That car someone had said that car was actually only going to be available in the UK, and it was only going to be 150 units. I did some double checking. It supposedly is going to be available in the US. I imagine it will only be available in Deep Laguna Metallic instead of the multiple other colors that the UK and Europe are going to get. So we are probably going to get them in the US. I imagine the numbers will be just as limited, of about 150 units. So that is all I have right here right now. So I don't have any other news on my list here, but I will gladly open up the chat to questions or comments or things you might be interested in knowing about with the Mini brand, or things you might be interested in knowing about with my vehicles or whatever. So I'm going to go ahead and open that up. If any of you have something you want to say, feel free to chime in. I will answer your questions, and I'm going to try to keep the dialogue going as long as possible. If you did notice, I have a background behind me right now. Granted, it's green. That's because it's my green screen from my studio space out the room behind me. My plan eventually is to put a white background here because it's a little bit brighter, and adjust the lighting a little bit in here. So when I'm actually in here filming in front of the computer, then you all get to see a little bit better. Now, yes, I am using the webcam on my Apple computer because I haven't quite figured out how to hook up my GoPro to do live stream on YouTube. So I'm working with what I can get. But anywho, John, is it still frozen by chance? Or has everything kind of been fixed? So I'm hoping that it's still resolved. I want to say hi to Ethan. Can't wait to see how the next generation will look. Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing how the next generation 4th Mini looks. Tyler Kent, do you think the price point will change or stay the same? I hate to see it being priced out of the commuter car market. The funny thing about commuter cars, the funny thing about the Mini in general is it sells to several different demographics, or several different demographics depending on where it is. In the US, it's considered a premium compact car. In Europe, it's considered a economy car. So it's kind of a weird thing how that works, and it's kind of just it's just a really strange thing. So I could see the price go up. I could also see the price go down. It really just depends. It depends on the complexity, how expensive it is to build the cars. That usually plays a factor in how expensive the car actually is. The reason why the 3rd generation Minis are so expensive has largely to do with the BMW technology, and that is why they are priced the way they are. Ethan F56, update on your Clubman situation. I have my Clubman back. It is out of the body shop. It looks as good as new, and I will be driving it. I got some other stuff I'm going to install in it, including from Michael Deckert here from Martinez, California. He sent me a sprint booster. So I'm going to be trying this out in my Clubman as soon as I can, and preferably not while it's icy and snowy outside. Mark White, it's good. Aaron Malt, did you sell the race car? Well, calling it the race car is what got me in trouble. It was my race car, not necessarily anybody else's. But yes, the Cooper S has been sold. Pardon me, I didn't mean to knock the computer. Cooper S has been sold. It's currently sitting at a holding site covered up until the new owner arranges for shipment of the vehicle to his home. So yeah, that car is gone. That car has been sold, and it's going to be off to a new home soon. Alan Gilbert, currently trying to get rid of the dreaded dashboard rattle. If you have knowledge of full dashboard removal, would be nice. Depends on what generation of Mini you have, Alan. Do you have an R53, R56, or F56? They all rattle. They all have plastic parts, so it's kind of a byproduct of owning a Mini. So I don't know for sure. Vincent lagging a bit. Alan Gilbert, as in the whole thing, not just the covers. It's price premium here too. Okay, Des. Okay, so I guess Des. I guess in the UK it really does. I guess it really doesn't matter what the price is for the car. Alan Gilbert, R53. I don't know exactly how to remove the dashboard on an R53. I have enough experience taking the dash pieces off of an R56 that it's kind of become second nature now to take it apart. As far as the R53, I have no clue, but I imagine if you check on YouTube, like most people, you'll probably find tons of videos on how to remove the dashboard from your Mini. And I think it may even be, if you have a Haynes repair manual for your Mini, I believe the instructions or how to do it are in that manual, so you can take it out a lot easier. I imagine for the most part, it's once you get the face panels off the dash, it's pretty easy to then remove the dash panel or the dash pad. But I don't know for sure, and I would rather you get that information from repair manual or from YouTube if someone else has done it, because I've never had any experience doing it, and I don't want to give you information that you might get wrong. Aaron Malt, what did you eat for dinner? That's a really random question. Aaron Malt. Aaron M. Aaron Alt? By chance? I know of an Aaron Alt. What did I have for dinner anyway? I had penne with meat sauce. Really random question to ask, but yeah. So, what else do we got going on here? Aaron Alt. Yeah. Okay. Okay, so a local. All right. Yes, I had penne with pasta, but all right, anyway. Anyway, will four Minis have a manual option, or is Mini going away? Mini said that they are committed to the manual transmission and they don't have any plans to remove the manual transmission from the Mini. I do know from what I've read that it's quite possible that the handbrake will go away and it'll be that touch button that you get in the current Countryman and current Clubman. So I think we'll be losing that, but we'll still have the manual transmission. What about the DT? I'm not familiar with DT. Jungle Green. Are you referring to that one that Petrol Ped mentioned, that like special JCW that some company in Germany is building? Because I'm not sure about that one. I've never heard of DT, unless you're referring to the DCT, and I don't think you are. It really depends on where you're at. But anyway, back to Tyler Kent. No, I don't see Mini getting rid of the manual anytime soon. Mini has committed to keeping manuals around. Now, whether they decide to keep them in the U.S. is another question altogether, because knowing how people in the U.S. Don't seem to want to know how to drive, it's kind of this weird thing. Any horsepower numbers? Horsepower numbers for the 4th gens, I have no clue. Horsepower numbers for the current gens are going to stay about the same. I don't see anything changing with that. Here's my thought with the 4th gens, and I really want Mini to do this. I think it would be really cool if they focused with the smaller ones. If they focused with a 3-cylinder turbocharged engine configuration where they had the 135 horsepower or 134 horsepower for the 3-cylinder for the Cooper, and then the Cooper S had about 180, 190 horsepower, and then they went even higher on horsepower for the JCW. So kind of did that, but did it in 3-cylinder turbos, which would be kind of a cool thing for the smaller car. But I don't know if Mini's going to do that. They have a tendency to do whatever the heck they want. So it could be cool if they did that, but I'm thinking they may end up not doing that. Alan Gilbert, idea to remove the electro-hydraulic power steering to go pure electric assist. Take the power steering from the 2nd-gen Prius and retrofit to them. That is, Alan, that is stuff that is technical stuff that is way outside of my pay grade. Honestly, I have no clue what's going on there. And so I would recommend that you check on some of the Facebook groups. Groups that might have information on this. Some of the modified mini groups on Facebook might have that kind of knowledge. If they've ever done it, someone out there might be crazy enough to have done it. So I'd check with some of them on Facebook, see what they might say. Check with any of the Facebook groups out there. Check online. There's bound to be someone who's done something like that with a mini. It seems kind of out there, but then again, I just recently talked to a guy who has a turbocharged R53, and I know a guy with a turbocharged R53, so nothing's impossible. But I would check on Facebook, see if there's any of that stuff going on. The Deutsch Tech Edition. Okay, Jungle Green, yeah, the Deutsch Tech Edition. I've heard about it. I have no other information about it. I know that it's a special edition being built in Germany as far as I know, and I know that Petrolped is going to have more information about that than I am because he has closer access to it given the fact that he lives in the UK and I live in the US. So it's a little hard for me to get that information. I wish I lived close enough to get access to those cars, but I unfortunately don't. Anyway, Maria, I want to say hello, and I want to say I hope you're all doing well in Puerto Rico. I heard about the earthquakes down there, so it doesn't sound like it's been too great down there for you all, but it's nice to see you in here. Tyler Kent, top speed prediction on Gen 4. It seems each generation keeps getting faster. I would imagine the Gen 4s, given that they're going to shrink a little bit, will probably get a little bit faster. I imagine their top speeds will be about the same, but I imagine that their 0 to 60s will improve and their quarter mile times and so forth. So I imagine that they will get quicker as technology improves and they get a little bit lighter possibly. And you never know. Things will change over time. But I imagine if they're shrinking the car a little bit, I imagine that means that the car is going to get lighter as well. So anywho, top speed predictions. Yeah. There's not much, really, Tyler, there's not much information out there about the 4th gen yet, apart from they're going to be shrinking the car, and they've mentioned a few little design styling details. You know how people are in the U.S. when it comes to buying cars. They're usually more focused about, does it look pretty, and not about how fast does it go. See, I tend to want to be more interested in how fast it's going, not necessarily if it looks pretty. When will the Gen 4 be out? Well, I do know that the current gen, the 3rd gen, is supposed to continue production to at least 2022. So I imagine that the 4th gen will be out in about 2023. So I could say it'll be at least a 2023 model. So we're looking at probably, considering 2021 models are coming out this year, we're looking at probably about 2 years tops for the redesign to come out. James Baldwin, is it worth the money to put a cold air intake on my Countryman? Would that void the warranty? Which mini Countryman do you have? Do you have an R60 or do you have an F60? Because that would also play a factor. As far as cold air intake is concerned, a lot of people say that they're worthless. A lot of people say that they're worth something. It depends on if it has a tune. You have an R60. Okay. If it has a tune on it, it might be worth it, but it might not. You might have better luck with using your stock air box and putting in a drop-in K&N air filter. Some of the cold air intakes, the problem is because of the the problem is because of the N18 and the N14 engines where their air boxes are located at the back of the engine, they get a lot of heat back there. So really, it's not a cold air intake as much as it's a hot air intake. Now, if you look at the current gen, the F generation minis, their air box, they actually moved it to the front of the engine. So in actuality, it makes it a little bit easier or a little bit better to have a cold air intake in those cars than it would be to have them in the older ones, the ones that we have, the R56, the R55, the R60. So I would say your money might be better spent with that car by honestly putting in a drop-in air filter, like a K&N air filter. You're going to spend a little less money and you're going to get the same benefits, honestly, because your car's not tuned. So I wouldn't necessarily go to the extremes of having a higher horse or having a cold air intake just because it looks cool and it makes lots of noise. If you want lots of noise, spend $600 or so, put in a RPM tune on your car and get lots of pops and cracks and burbles out of the tailpipes. So, I mean, it's your money, do what you want with it, but my suggestion would be with the cold air, as far as cold air intakes are concerned, if you're going to spend the money, just do a panel air filter in there, a K&N filter, and then spend the money on some other performance upgrade like a tune or an intercooler or something else, suspension, stuff like that. Ethan F56, best place to get an OEM rear bumper for an F56S. Have you checked on eBay? It's usually the best place to find them. That being said, I would imagine you can get them from the collisions you can get them from the dealership. Now, here's my thing about body parts for minis. I had an aftermarket fender that I could have put on my Clubman. Collision Center told me not to use it. They told me that it wasn't a good part. That was because it was a Chinese-made part, so it was cheaper, and they wanted to use better quality parts. So you can get less expensive parts that look like the OEM parts, but there's a very good chance that they won't be as high a quality or as high a standard as the OEM, unless, of course, it's some other brand that makes OEM parts for the company. So definitely look out there and shop. But if you're looking for just a rear bumper, I would check like eBay. You can get them for $300-$400, give or take. James Baldwin, that's what I was thinking, given the location of the airbox, hot air intake. Yeah. Well, Ethan, if they're kind of damaged, what's the status of your rear bumper? Is it damaged beyond repair, or is it just a minor scrape? Is it something that can be fixed at the body shop, possibly? And Tyler Kent, James, they are cool. I have a max flow air intake, but pretty useless without an intercooler. Yeah, Tyler. Like I was saying, it really depends. It really depends. If you're with the cold air intakes, there's people out there that swear by them, and there's people out there that think they're ridiculous. I think, me personally, if I had the money, I would rather spend it on something else than putting a intake in there that's going to suck in hot air. Now, that being said, if you absolutely do want a cold air intake and you absolutely have to have one, I might encourage you. Well, you have an R60, so that wouldn't exactly work. I was going to say try to use one with the snorkel from the Hood Scoop, but I don't think they make those for the R60. Ethan 56, paint peeling off, kind of gouged in places, a few broken clips, and fitment is off. Looking to repair and salvaging mine. Yeah, Ethan, I would look at a salvage one or see if they can get yours repaired, take it to a body shop, see what they can do. A lot of times they can do magic with those parts, but your best bet probably is to find if you can't go used, I would go OEM. You're going to be spending a lot more money then because you're going to order it, ship it, have it primed, painted, clear coated, and so on and so forth. Then you have to still spend the money with clips and everything to reinstall it. So, D-Tasca, hi. Roberto Corellis, next generation. I want to buy a JCW. Should I wait for the next? Honestly, Roberto, I would say don't wait for the next Mini. The current gens are incredibly fun. I don't think you should hold off on buying a new car or buying the next generation one just because the next generation one's coming. Because here's the thing. 2014 was when the F56 came out. We didn't get the JCW until 2015. So 2023 is when they're saying that the fourth generation is coming out. We're not going to probably get a JCW until until 2024, 2025. So you're going to be waiting a bit. That being said, you might not like the next one. So I would encourage you, if you really want a JCW if you really want a JCW, I'd encourage you to get the F56 generation, the current one. It's a more reliable engine. And I say more reliable in the fact that the N18 and the M14, they can be easy to maintain if you know what you're doing and if you know what you're getting yourself into. If you aren't prepared for that expense and that task, I would encourage you to go for the F56. The B48 engine JCWs are much better built, much more reliable. You're not going to have as many issues, and I would encourage you to look at those. Now, that problem is if you go waiting for the fourth generation, you might find that for like the first year of that fourth generation, there might be some bugs to have to work out. So that's why I say don't wait. I say go get it. Go get one now. Go get one of the current generation if you really want it. Mark White, glad to hear they may get back to a mini sort of traditionalist. Okay. D-Tasca, what are the chances of Mini offering a nice yellow color option in the near future? It would look great with black trim. I agree. A yellow Mini would look pretty sharp. I don't know when they're going to do it. I do know that if you want to have a yellow Mini right now, you could always get it wrapped. And I've known people who've done that. They usually order a black Mini first, and then they have it wrapped in whatever the color they want. I think it's cost about $5,000, though, to have it wrapped correctly and have a good vinyl wrap put on it. So if you really want to, I would encourage you to if you really want a yellow color, I'd encourage you to just wrap the car. But I don't know if Mini's going to be doing a yellow color anytime soon. We're dealing with the orange color right now, so that's a pretty good color, but I don't know how everyone feels about it. And for all I know, Mini might change their minds again, so you never know. Jungle Green, I have the Eventuri with working hood scoop. Okay, you're the guy I was thinking of with the Eventuri with the Eventuri intake with the functioning hood scoop. From Brazil. Okay, Roberto. Awesome, you're down in Brazil. It's nice to chat with people from all over the place. I had some people from Australia in my last live stream. It was nice chatting with them. I have you down in Brazil. I had people from the UK. I had Maria up there somewhere from Puerto Rico. So it was nice chatting with her. Granted, she's from part of the United States. So working hood scoop, Jungle Green. Yeah. So Jungle Green, the only problem with the that Eventuri intake is I don't think it will work in an R60 Countryman, because the R60s don't have hood scoops really. They don't have hood scoops at all. So I don't think that would necessarily work to make a hood scoop functional. But there's ways to make all sorts of things work. It's really just kind of a luck of the draw. The F50, you also, I think, Jungle Green, have an F56 if I'm not mistaken. Last I chatted with you, I think you had an F56. So that would be, I mean, there's other intakes out there. If you still want an aftermarket intake and you want to keep the style of the current intake in your car, I know a guy locally who has a carbon fiber intake in his car, and it's a carbon fiber airbox in tube, and it looks just like the stock intake system in the car, except it's carbon fiber. So, yeah, I don't have any other information here, and I can't think of anything else that's been going on with Mini lately. On a side note, I did purchase a drone, so we should be seeing some. I'm going to try to get some aerial video to include in my videos in the near future, so stay tuned for that. That should be pretty fun. Or, no, my luck, I might end up causing trouble and not getting video I need. It's April 29th through May 3rd, if anyone wants to join in on the fun. Well, Ethan, I don't know if I'm going to have the money to get out there, because I'm trying to save up for Mini Takes Estates. So if I can, the only way I could do it would be if I flew out there and got someone to loan me their car, or got a dealership out there to loan me their car. Then I might be able to do it. But I don't see it happening. I don't see it happening this year at the very least. Do they do mini? Tell me, Ethan. Did they do minis on the Dragon every year? Out of curiosity. Because if they do it every year, then I could possibly make it out there in 2021, since I probably can't do it for 2020 with Mini Takes Estates coming up. So hopefully. What drone did you get? I got. If you hold on with me for real quick, I'm gonna go grab it. I'm sorry, it's on the other side. There we go. Nice case, right? I bought a DJI Mavic Mini. Of course, I had to buy something that is a Mini, right? So, yeah, this is the DJI Mavic Mini. And you unfold it. There it is. Kind of cool. Honestly, I haven't pulled off some of the stickers yet. I just got it today. But the goal is to use this for some video and some other cool stuff. You never know what might be coming up that I might need a drone for. Mini Takes Estates is coming up, so I might take this along with me and have a little fun with it. I bought the Fly More package, so it has 3 batteries, has extra blades, and this is pretty cool, actually. A 3-axis camera on this thing in 4K video, and it is the size of the palm of your hand, so that's kind of cool. But yeah, so that's what I bought recently, and looking forward to actually having a chance to test it out. I just haven't had a chance to do it yet, because honestly, being in Kansas, we had a winter storm, so we had some snow dumped on the ground yesterday. and it's sort of melting now. So, all right, Ethan, you said that there is going to be another Mini Takes the States, or Minis on the Dragons every year. So, yeah, I might be able to make it out to the next year's one. James Baldwin, nice drone. Don't forget to register it. That's a question I've been curious about. Do you have to register a drone if it's under 250 grams? Because I thought that was the requirement, is it had to be anything above 250 grams was required. But honestly, I don't want to get in trouble. So if I have to register it, I have to register it. So. But we'll see with that. But yeah, the plan is to take it out and do some video with it, with minis and whatever mini event comes my way. So Mini Takes States, minis on the Mac, minis on the Dragon at some point. This thing isn't going anywhere. I sold my last drone. I don't plan to sell this one. So what else do I have going on? Well, I believe so. Okay, James. Well, I will double check on the FAA website. If I have to register, I have to register. Not a big deal. But yeah, so we got lots of stuff coming up, lots of stuff going on. We'll have the review, we'll have the recap video. The FAA website will tell you. Okay, I'll check the FAA website. Anyway, we have the recap video on Wednesday to look forward to at 8 p.m. That'll be the one where we recap the Batmobile mini video that I did. So I don't want to answer any questions on that in this one. I don't want to discuss it in this one because I want to wait until Wednesday to talk with you all about that. But we do have a video coming up on Friday that I think you're going to love. And if you didn't notice, I moved my videos on Fridays back to 2 p.m. because I thought having them late in the evening. Fridays are usually when people are going out and partying and having fun. So obviously they're not going to be sitting at home watching YouTube videos. So I moved it ahead of time. But Friday's video, we're actually going to meet the owner of that Roadster. So I did a video with him. You're actually going to get to meet him, get to hear what he has to say about his car, get to hear what he has to say about what people think of his car. So it's going to be a pretty cool video, and I encourage you all to watch it on thoughts on it, your opinions, your snide remarks, whatever you want to say about the car, because I know that Mini is the most loved Mini in the world. So sarcastic, of course, obviously. But anywho, I hope you all have enjoyed this live stream. I'm going to cut it short because I'm trying to keep these a little shorter than I usually do because they've run for almost an hour sometimes. But thanks for coming in. Thanks for watching. If you haven't already done so, go back and check out outmotoring.com if you're looking for new parts for your Mini. If you want to get a t-shirt, sticker, sweatshirt, go check out my Teespring store, teespring.com/stores/the Miniac or the-Miniac. And if you haven't already done so and you're just viewing the channel, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Don't forget to click the notification bell. Ethan, you rock. Thank you for that $10 right there. So until next time, life is too short to drive a boring car. So go out there and drive a Mini. I will catch you all later. You all have a fantastic evening, morning, afternoon, whatever part of the world you're in. And Maria out in Puerto Rico, I hope you're doing well out there. I hope your family's doing well out there. And we're all thinking of you up here in the continental U.S. And I hope things improve down there and the damage gets cleaned up. So you have a fantastic evening as well. So you all have a fantastic evening, and I will talk to you all later.